COWASAURUS, leave those poor chickens alone! Hey guys, what's up? It's huskymudkipz here, and welcome to another Minecraft mods video. Today we're looking at the PALARIA mod. Version 2.3.6, I believe. PALARIA is a mod which adds new tools, new ores, new weapons, new ore blocks, new friggin' just random items, and also some mobs. But of course, first we got to look at some of the normal ores and items and all that kind of stuff that it adds. So let's take a look right here. Starting off at the left here, we have Clarite, which you can find right here. It is rarer than iron, and it's kind of like a stepping stone between iron and diamond, because it's stronger than iron but weaker than diamond, or it lasts less than diamond. I don't know if it's stronger than or as strong as diamond, but that's the little gem right there. You can see it's hanging on an item frame, and this is the block it makes. It almost looks like diamond. It's got a similar color and whatnot. I think it's pretty, if that makes sense. Pretty. Up next we got Sarute, which is kind of a bluish ore. It's also blue block. You can find this in between levels 1 and 20 in the Y. It's rarer than diamond, but also stronger than diamond and more efficient. So that's, or maybe it's not stronger, but it is more efficient. So that's pretty nice. Over here we got Flamite, which is found in the Nether. Same region and same rarity and same everything as Sarlite, I believe. Maybe it's a little bit stronger. I'm a little bit unsure on that. Up next, I just have to scroll up the page here. Sorry about that, guys. We have Ilwion, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It spawns in the overworld and is rarer than Sarlite, between levels 1 and 18, and they're more efficient than Flamite, which is more efficient than Sarlite, which is more efficient than Diamond, so these suckers are pretty friggin' efficient. Oh yeah. Up next we got Flamite, which is rarer than Sarlite, between levels 1 and 18, and the block drops the gem, you know, that whole thing right there. It's more efficient than Ilwion, oh baby! Up next we got Nelium, which is kind of like coal. You can find it all over the place. You use it as a fuel, and that's about it. Really, there's not too much else you can do. Up next we got Enderrite, which I'll scroll down here. It spawns in the overworld and in the end, which you can kind of see right here. That's the end block version of it. And it's rarer than Flamite, and you can find between levels 1 to 20 in the Y coordinates. You have to smelt the block to get the ingot. But you have to be careful because it might be alive, which is kind of scary. And it's more efficient than Flamite, which is more efficient than Sarlite, which is more efficient than Diamond. So we'll get on to what I mean by being alive, but we'll see that in a little bit. First off, though, we have to look at this Enderrite. Now, what is Enderrite? Well, Enderrite is a mixture between Sarlite and Flamite. To make this new ingot, it can make the block, and I don't think it can make any armor or anything like that, but it does make this thing called a flither clock, which is made with 4 pieces of Enderrite, as well as 4 flint and steel, and also a normal clock. Now, this sucker, it doesn't do anything right now, but the mod creator has stated that what he wants it to do eventually is open up to a new dimension. Ooh, spooky. So up next, we have to look at all the new weapons and items, as well as the Enderrite stuff, which we'll get on to talking about when we get to it. But first, let's look at the new weapons. So this mod does add some new weapons and new items. First things first, all of these can be created with any of the ores. So, you know, instead of using Clarite here, it could use Diamond, or it could use Enderrite, or it could have used, you know, Sarlite or whatever. It doesn't matter. They all have the same recipes, and of course, you can also make, like, you know, armor and stuff, which is kind of the same recipes as before, just uses the other stuff. Look at me. I'm fancy looking. I'm like a weird pastel rainbow. Oh yeah. Looking in here though, first things first, we have the Scythe Blade, which I believe does 2 times the damage and has the efficiency, or has double the efficiency of a sword, I believe. But it's 3 sticks and 5 of your gem of choosing, or your item of choosing here to make a scythe. That looks kind of cool too when you wield it. You're like, rah, I'm wielding a bow. Just kidding, it's actually something that'll chop you up. Up next we got the Falchion, which is almost like a, it feels like, oh, it has a nice reach too. It feels a little bit like a Poseidon staff thing. What's a Poseidon staff thing? A pitchfork. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Feels a little bit like a pitchfork in how it looks. Damage-wise, I think it does pretty well. You know, it's not too weak. Up next, we got the Stealth Dagger, which is just a tiny little thing. You know, there's not too much to do with the dagger. It's gonna be less efficient than a sword. Obviously, you can still block with it, which doesn't make too much sense to me, because like it just hit your hand, I suppose. But you can block with it, and too bad you can't throw it. I'd really like to be able to throw it, but you can't. Up next, we have the Battle Axe, which is actually made by creating an axe head and a sword head. Now the cool thing about this, and we'll also talk about how you make the shick with all this kind of stuff, is what you want to do is when you create your tools, okay? And once you create your tools, oh, I don't have a crafting bench there, I guess we'll have to get one. Once you create a tool, you know, we create a sword, you put it in the crafting bench and you just get the sword head. So that's how we would get those, you know, those two things that we need for this to make the battle axe. Battle axe is quite strong. You can use it for both chopping down trees and also chopping off heads, and also blocks. So that's pretty handy. And of course, there's the shick, which is right here, made with a pickaxe head and a shovel head and oakwood planks. Makes you the shick. It is for mining and digging, so it does both of those at the same time, which is pretty handy. Allows you to kind of, you know, use. It's like a multi-tool. It'll fill up one slot, right? And so will this. So kind of cuts down on the amount of stuff you have to use. Next up, we got the special weapons. Oh, but I guess, yeah, okay. We'll talk about the special weapons first. So, to make the Enderrite Sword, which is kind of like the first starting one to making the Spaun of Doom, you got to get yourself 2 pieces of Enderrite, finished Enderrite, and a stick to make Enderrite Sword. To make the Enderrite, you have to get creep tile eyes from the creeper tile thing, creep tile. As well as a raptor claw from the raptor chicken thingamajig. You stick 8 creep tile eyes around 1 raptor claw to make a sticky raptor claw. Then you get 3 of those sticky raptor claws, as well as 6 flamites to make raw Enderrite. And then you put that in a furnace to make Enderrite. Once you have that, you of course can make the Enderrite Sword, which is 2 pieces of Enderrite Sword, stick. Really strong. It's also sticky. So like if you hit someone, I think it'll stick. I don't know. That's what I assume. I haven't really used it. Let's try it out on this Mr. Pig over here. Hey, buddy. No, he just kind of died. Okay, I'm alright with that. Next up, of course, you're going to want to make the Spaun of Doom. I mean, of course you got to make the Spaun of Doom. Now, it's 2 Flamite gems underneath a Enderrite Sword to make the Spaun of Doom, because it has a spoon on top, I guess. I think that's the idea. It's doomy, as the thingamajig says, so that's pretty fancy. Up next, we have the Refined Enderrite Sword, Enderrite Sword, and Enderrite Sword. So, to make the Refined Enderrite Sword, you got to get 2 pieces of Refined Enderrite Quartz, which I'll explain how to make. To make the Enderrite Sword, you got to get 2 pieces of Refined Enderrite Gem, which doesn't make much sense to me. But apparently that's what you have to... Wait, what? I feel like something's... No, I guess that is how you do it. You know, that is how you do it. It's just, like, the names are weird, you know? Refined Enderrite Gem to make an Enderrite Sword. It just doesn't sound right. But then you get 2 pieces of Enderrite to make an Enderrite Sword. And all of these are super strong. The Refined Enderrite Sword does 28 melee damage and has infinite uses. The Enderrite Sword has 100 melee damage and 10,000 uses. Keep in mind this needs 428 Enderrite shards, which I'll explain how to get later. And then the Enderrite Sword does 500 melee damage and has 8,000 uses, but it requires 1,428 Enderrite shards. Now you get Enderrite shards from killing some of the creeps and mobs in this mod, which I'll show you in just a second once we get to the mobs. But when it comes to that, you kill them to get Enderrite shards. Once you get your Enderrite shards, you combine 9 of them to create an Enderrite chunk. You put that inside of a furnace to make a refined Enderrite chunk. Then you put 9 of those together to make a Enderrite quartz, which you put in the furnace to make refined Enderrite quartz. Put 3 of those together. If you put 3 of those together, you can get an Enderrite gem, which then refine to make a refined Enderrite gem through the furnace. Or you can put 9 of them together to make a piece of Enderrite. So it is very expensive to get these, these super ones that you use to make the weapons. But definitely useful because those suckers will hurt. So let's take a look at the mobs. Okay guys, let's take a look at some of these mobs. Now starting from the left here, we have the Nematin. This guy is like a big thing. Let me just take a look at his stats here. I can't really, never mind. It spawns fairly rarely and is tameable with bone. What? He's tameable? Oh my god, we gotta get rid of that potion. I don't give a fuck about that anymore. I want to try and tame this son of a bitch. He's my pet. Oh my god. No way. Is he really my pet? Oh my god, I can make him sit down. Oh my god, I didn't realize that. How did I not read that? Oh my god, look at him. He's sitting down. He's doing the dance. I want to ride him. Let me sit inside of you. Oh my god, that's so cool. He has green eyes now. He drops nothing. And he acts like wolves. They act like wolves, I guess, is the idea. So they will fight people for you. Get on some motherfuckers and kill them for you, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, G-thing. Next up, we got the creep tile. This guy's like a little creeper lizard dude. He blows up pretty big, so we're gonna spawn one just a little bit over here, so we don't have to, see him blow up over there. Oh, or my doggy's gonna handle it. Sorry, dog, you have to die. I'm sorry, or kitty. So let's see him blow up. Kaboomy! That is definitely bigger than a creeper. He drops the creep tile eyes. Get the fudge out of here, you butthole. He drops creeper eyes and gunpowder. So that's pretty fancy. Next up we have raptor chicken. He's got some fangs, some teeth, looking all spookylicious. Got his little normal raptorness. Tries to attack you and stuff. Also attacks villagers, and he's afraid of, I think he's afraid of nematans, cowasauruses, and wolves. So he's got to be careful for him. And of course, as I said before, he drops the raptor claws. Up next, we have the Enderrite and the Ender Walker. We have to turn it to night for that, though. Let's get a night vision potion, of course. I mean, come on. We go time set 16,000. We will spawn ourselves. I believe this is Endermite. So when I was talking about how the Endermite look like the blocks, well, look. They might be alive. They might actually be Endermite block majigs. And I believe they drop shards, as you can see there. So you're going to have to kill a fudge ton of them if you want to get some good drops. Wait, did he actually... Oh, he dropped an ingot, too. Isn't that handy? What a guy. You know, what a guy. Just dropping ingots for me and all that kind of fun stuff. What a guy. Up next, we got the Ender Walker. He looks like an Enderman, but like a creepy spider Enderman. I don't like that. He's just a big eye. Not a fan. Does he drop anything? Does he drop anything? Yes, he does. It's like Enderman eyes as well as, or Ender pearls. Oh my god. Shut up, Cowosaurus. As well as shards. Now this is the Cowosaurus. He drops the same stuff as a cow, but he's also like a little Tyrannosaurus, which is a little spooky. He's got his face. It's all spookerific. He just drops normal stuff. He is pretty beefy. He will hurt you quite a bit if you try and fuck with him. But of course, with this Enderrite or Enderrite Sword, he is dead in one hit. Kaboomishaboomaboom. He also has some really cool sounds to him. So that's pretty much a quick overview of this mod. I hope you guys enjoy, and make sure to check it out. There will be a link down in the description there. And if you're down there, of course, hit that like button, guys. Show a little bit of that Kipper support. Along with that, if you're a new viewer, make sure to hit subscribe. I always love to see some new Kippers join the Kipper crew. Other than that, guys, I think I'm pretty much done with the video. I love you all. My name is huskymudkipz, and I'll see you later, you sexy Kippers.